Ali, we also have NBC News correspondent Gadi Schwartz on the line with us from Studio City, California. Gadi, you felt the earthquake, you documented it. Tell us what it was like.
Yeah, Joe, it was a pretty rude awakening here. We were both sitting in our living room, my fiance and I, and all of a sudden, you start feeling the shake. We're both journalists, so we reached for the phones, and when we started recording. So when you pick up the recording, it's about 10, 15 seconds in, and you can see the apartment's shaking. Outside, you can see there's a pool, and the water is sloshing around. Inside, there were chandeliers shaking. We're about 120 miles away from that epicenter, but we definitely felt it here. It felt like rolling. It almost feels like when you're taking off in an airplane and the engines start and they start to rumble, and then you go down the runway. That's exactly what it felt like. So for us, it was, it's definitely a reminder that here in Southern California, this could happen at any time, any place, where we try to keep ourselves well stocked with food and earthquake kit that we can grab very quickly. But it got to the point where, fortunately, it started subsiding before we started scrambling for the doorways, or there's a hallway just beyond our apartment where there's this stairwell that we've identified as a pretty safe place. But very, very strong shaking here for sure.
Gadi, I know that both you and I have reported on retrofitting structures throughout Southern California in the case that the big one hits. How prepared is Southern California for something that would be longer or higher magnitude than what we felt today?
Well, it all depends on how recently your building was inspected or retrofitted. A lot of the newer buildings here are retrofitted. I know at the Los Angeles Bureau that we've got bumpers that are installed, and we walk by those every single day. You walk across a crack and you can see the rubber bumper that acts as this earthquake damper. So there are a lot of buildings here that are retrofitted, but the majority of the buildings in Southern California are not ready for a large earthquake to happen in the metro area. Fortunately, this one was 120 miles away, 130 miles away, but it is definitely one of those things that reminds you how this could happen at any time, any place, how we need to be prepared, and how the reality is Los Angeles just isn't ready for the big one just yet.
Los Angeles certainly doesn't feel very ready for the big one. And I wonder, have you felt any aftershocks? What has the aftermath been? Have you heard from your neighbors, the local police? We do know that the Los Angeles Fire Department says there have been no injuries so far.
Yeah, so as soon as the earthquake was over, we went out on that balcony, and all kinds of people were coming out on their balconies, and there was kind of this little community conversation. Did you feel that? Yeah. Did you guys feel that? Yeah. And so we're swapping stories there. It doesn't look like there's any damage in this immediate area, but we're watching Twitter just like everybody else, and the images that are coming out of up north are pretty stark. I mean, we've seen the video from inside of some local stores, and it looks like the damage is pretty extensive.
All right, Gadi Schwartz, NBC News correspondent in Studio City. Thank you.
Let's talk more about an understanding of how these things work. John Vidali is a professor of seismology at the University of Southern California. John, we have been covering this now for over an hour. Give us your analysis of what you believe happened and what is still happening, because we know of at least 5 aftershocks in Ridgecrest so far. And as we just heard from a seismologist at the USGS, they may continue for weeks.
Yeah, that's correct. In fact, the survey's already found dozens of aftershocks and put them on the map on their website. There will be continuing aftershocks. Some of them were as big as 4.5, a pretty sharp jolt if you're in the area. And there were foreshocks as well. There were 3 or 4 events that the network noticed in the half hour before that earthquake. And it is an area that's prone to a lot of earthquakes over the years. There's geothermal energy coming from the region. It's a tectonically active region. It's one of the hot spots in California. Our local affiliate, KNBC, was interviewing people in Los Angeles who were sort of saying, well, it wasn't the big one. It felt serious. But, people who have lived in L.A. for a long time have felt certain earthquakes and certain tremors at times before. What do you do to put this in that context? Because obviously it's not the big one, but it sounds like it was pretty significant. And if it had happened closer to a populated area, we could be seeing a lot more damage than we're getting reports of now. Yeah, that's exactly right. It's a 6.5, and if it had been right under a city, especially a city with old buildings, there'd be kind of a devastating toll. New Zealand had an earthquake of this size a couple of years ago, and it knocked out Christchurch. They're still rebuilding. We're fortunate it hit in an area that wasn't densely populated.
So what do you, is there something to be done? If you are in Southern California right now and you've been woken up to the idea, and by the way, I understand that there have been 3 lower level earthquakes in the region, not just the foreshocks, but over the course of the last week. Does this cause anybody to think about it differently? Does it cause anybody to do anything differently other than make sure they've got that Shaker app on their phone, or that they know what to do if you get word that there's a hurricane, or if you feel the rumbling underfoot?
Well, it's hard. Earthquakes are something where we have to, think in the long term, and we're preparing for the next 20 or 30 years. So, this week isn't any more dangerous in LA than last week, but it's on our mind, and we should do the things that we know we should have done a long time ago. Look into retrofits, having food supplies, having plans in case there's an earthquake. When we're reminded, it's the time to do the things that we should have done a long time ago.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.